Hi guys, back again. So I wanted to do a little tutorial on a couple of poses. So today I think I'm going to do mountain pose and tree pose. So these are poses that are considered beginner's poses, but there's a lot of nuance to them and a lot of stuff to learn about the poses. And I'd like to continue to do this, over time so I get a bigger sense or a deeper sense of some of these poses. So I'm going to still be front facing today. I'm going to back up a little bit here. So I want you to get a sense of in mountain pose, turn to the side and you can see it from all angles. Start at the side. In mountain pose, we want to be mindful that we really line our toes up with one another. So I'll actually look down. I've got my feet about hip width apart. That tends to work for me. Sometimes I like to do big toes touch, heels about 1/4 of an inch apart. That tends to be supportive for my back. Everybody's a little different. But try either one or any space in between. You want to pull your abdominals in and lengthen your tailbone down. So avoid sticking your booty out or tucking the tailbone or rounding. So you want to really be tall. Let the tailbone draw straight down. So you're maintaining the natural curvature of your spine and your arms are just going to hang down. So I tend to have pretty long arms. But you want your shoulder to be roughly in line with your hip. You want to keep pulling your abdominals in and lift your chest. Feel like somebody presses their shoulders, presses your shoulders down. You want to feel elongation from the crown of the head, like you have a string pulling you up. And we relax the shoulders. So now, old school, there was this kind of version here where we really spread our fingers out and pull the belly in. You want to notice that you want to avoid this like soldier stance because that's not relaxing, right? That's the chest thrusting out. Buttocks is kind of sticking back. You want to avoid that. You want to keep more of a sense of relaxed, neutral alignment in the pose. And I'm giving myself a little bit of movement front and back. There's a relaxation to the pose. So as I was saying, you can be hands out here, but you want to kind of avoid tensing, right? And, can soften and relax. And generally you'll find that your arms just kind of hang and your palms may turn in or even turn back slightly. I'm okay with the front facing, not so much the back facing. Internal facing is fine. So you want to pull the belly in, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, and really engage into the core. We're not just hanging out, right? We're tall, we're like a mountain, immovable. And something I like to use in class is like imagine that I walk up to you and I try to push you and I can't. So I'm not tense, I'm not clenching, I'm just strong. My abdominals are in, I'm engaged, I'm lifting, I'm growing tall, chin parallel to the mat, crown of the head lifting up, and I'm stepping into my feet. I'm feeling the sensations of my body. In a mountain pose, we can let our arms hang, or we can do something like goalpost arms. And here I'm going to draw the shoulders back, and the elbows are going to come in just a little bit. Again, I'm pulling my abdominals in, I'm lining my toes up with one another. I'm finding strength. I'm not just hanging out, right? Just letting my belly hang. I'm really pulling in and up. It's another version. You can also, I'm going to step back, extend your arms up, palms facing one another. Again, feet in line with one another, toes in line with one another. Elongating here, drawing the shoulders back. So I just want to practice for a while. Just keeping the arms overhead and lifting the chest. And again, I'm trying to avoid rounding or sticking my buttocks out. And exhaling, releasing the arms and coming back to the front of the mat. So from mountain pose, we can do other standing poses, right? So foundation of your practice is the standing pose. So from this pose, let's go ahead and go to tree pose. I'll show you a few variations. Just keep it very basic. So again, we come into our mountain pose, find the length to our spine, find our feet, toes line up with one another, shoulders draw back, the chest lifts. These are all different kinds of variations for tree pose. I'm going to show you a few, and I want you to try all of them. So we're going to start with the right foot rooted, soften the right knee. So I want you to avoid doing things like locking out the knees. I want you to keep them soft so they're not bent, they're not locked out, they're in between here, a little bit of give to the knees. I'm going to take my hands to my hips to start. I'm going to pull my belly and draw my tailbone down. I'm going to bring the left toes to the ground. I'm going to press my heel lightly into my lower calf. And I'm going to keep the toes pressing lightly into the ground as well as touching onto the inner heel of the right foot. I'm turning my left knee out and I'm squaring my hips and keeping them in line with my shoulders. I'm pulling my belly in and I'm going to hold here. I'm going to keep lifting my chest. So from the side, it looks like this. Again, my abdominals are in, my buttocks are down. Can't really see my knee here, right? You can see my quad, but you can't really see the knee here. That would be not really turning out. Everybody's hips are going to be different kind of mobility to open. We start here. Buttocks are engaged and working. So that's one version to try, right? More of a so-called beginner if you're tired or not, really in a space of balance. Another option is to move up to the calf. So I'm very particular. I don't want you to press into the knee. I've seen that. Don't like it. Don't want you to press into the ankle. Find that space in between. Keep squaring the hips. Keep squaring the shoulders. Connect to your breath. Lower the left buttock down and lift your chest. Finding your breath here. Keep drawing the shoulders down. Notice that I'm breathing, expanding and contracting. Good, pressing the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. So there's this active connection, right? The right leg presses to the left foot presses to the right. And for those of you with a little more mobility, you can always go ahead and lift that right leg up a little higher, come up into the groin or upper thigh. Notice that there's a deep connection here of the quadriceps to the calf, strong pressing of the left foot into the right inner thigh. My right inner thigh is pressing into my left foot. It's also really connected, really engaged. I'm squaring my hips, I'm lifting my chest. And in any of these versions of the pose, you can add on, right? Once your foundation is rooted and your big toe side of the right foot is connected to the ground, you really feel that left foot connected, you can remove your hands, maybe place them on your belly, maybe one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, or you can add, arms can come up to goalpost arms, you can always do arms up, parallel arms. Let me step back a little bit. And you can also do, as I lose my balance, you can also do things like hands in prayer overhead. You can do reverse namaste, you can bend your elbows, you can even do victory. This one, studies have shown that opening your arms in V and lifting your chest can really lift your spirits, help you come out of depression. So here you could throw your chest forward, arms open out, breathe. And now just to even out, we'll do the other side. And I recommend that you do both sides because we usually have one side that's a little more stable than the other. And if you kind of go by yoga therapeutics, you also want to train that side maybe one more time. So you would do your so-called weaker side or more challenged side one more time so that we strengthen it. So we'll bring both feet to the ground, toes in line with one another. Step into the left foot, soften the left knee, hands to the hips. Now bring the right toes to the ground, bringing the right heel to the left inner calf. Turning your right knee out, but squaring your hips out. Pull your belly in, lift your chest, drop the shoulders. Good, find your center. This is challenging in and of itself. Again, you can do goalpost arms, arms up, hands to prayer, whatever works for you. Just keep lifting your chest. I like chin parallel. And then you can go ahead and take it up again, foot to the calf. Avoid the knee or the ankle and press the calf back into the foot. Keep squaring your hips, kind of opening that right knee up. Lengthen through both sides of the waist. And then those of you who can and wish to, heel up in toward or to the groin. Lower your right buttock down. You want to really root the left foot into the mat. Square your shoulders out. And again, arm variation that you see fit today or that you'd like to do here. Maybe no arm variation, you just let your hands rest. And there are different things that we can do in tree pose. Today I want to keep it very basic, just show you some basic examples of mountain and tree, and we can move on from there. I mean, you can technically talk about these poses for an entire hour or so, but I wanted to give you a basic rundown and have you practice these, as these are some foundational poses, and they can really help you connect more to the practice. When I started, I was 225 pounds back in like 2004. And really all I could do was mountain and tree, and I would do some heroes poses. And over time, I kind of got into much better shape and started doing this, for semi-living. So there is the possibility that with these smaller poses, right, or easier poses, you transition to some of the more challenging poses into the future. So I want you to practice. I'll be doing more of these tutorials. I hope that you enjoy them and continue to come back to the page. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.